name's Robyn Freye. I am the Chief Growth Officer at Stagwell, and we are here on the streets at South by Southwest in lovely Austin. We have a very special guest today, Matt Klein. Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role at Reddit and your background?
Yes. So I like to argue I have one of the coolest jobs ever, which is to make sense of all the data on our entire platform. So I am head of global foresight at Reddit, which is essentially to make sense of culture, understand where it's going next, and then help our partners really author future-proofing business strategies so they could show up on the platform in a more strategic, resonant, and creative manner.
That's wonderful. And you're actually speaking at South by Southwest as well.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your presentation?
Absolutely.
Maybe give us a sneak peek into it?
A little tease. So our presentation tomorrow is on how to approach online culture. So we are, as marketers, obsessed with trying to get in on the latest conversations and trends and hashtags and challenges. And our approach is really going against the grain and trying to slow down and think more about modern movements and, more important, substantial social shifts rather than, say, the aesthetic or hashtag of the day.
Yeah, and why are those movements in marketing and culture so important, especially now?
So in our eyes, culture is the operating system of society. I mean, for any brand to participate, it's beyond just consumer research or market financials. It's culture. It's the in-between. Culture is like the DNA of a society.
And you mentioned that you love data. Can you tell us why data is so important at Reddit?
Absolutely. So we sit on what I would consider the most invaluable data set of culture that's ever existed. We have 100,000 active communities ranging from all passions and interests, and we're tracking the growth of these communities and what they represent about real people's interests off the platform as well. We partner very closely with our data science team. We have tons of platforms and tools to make sense of all that essentially conversation, again, to better understand what's happening in culture to help marketers show up.
That was awesome. Can you give any specific brand examples of how you've used this data and the Reddit platform to help amplify brands?
So we work with an entertainment client who produces horror content, scary shows, scary TV shows and films. And they want to understand, how do we approach this platform that is Reddit in a way that behooves us? And we have one of the most active horror communities and communities of communities ever. So we're looking at the rise and fall of certain horror genres and certain horror subgenres on the platform, whether certain brands are being mentioned in one community over another, and then further, the actual programs themselves and the sentiment of them and where they show up or where they don't. Inevitably, we help this brand show up where they could join in on the conversation and further, not just show up, but inform their actual content production as well, based upon the insights of the fans that they're trying to get after in the first place.
What is the one piece of advice that you may give marketers? Whether it's brand marketers or maybe marketing analysts or even somebody whose first time it is at South by.
It's to slow down. I mean, we're doing so much right now. Yeah. I mean, culture is so unpredictable, it's so chaotic, and we're obsessed with the new and the big. But the new and the big isn't necessarily the most important. Perhaps it's the more meaningful and the slower moving, the things that have momentum or staying power that are more substantial. So I guess the piece of advice for even just a week like this, or for any marketers, is just do less, it's gonna be okay, and we'll figure it out.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you.